Hi and welcome back to my channel, and today this channel is dedicated to BHB Music, one of my subscribers who has been asking me to do a video on Nova. So here you go, BHB. It's The Man Called Nova and it's issue number 1. And this is the only issue of Nova that I have, but it was only when I was going back looking at this comic that I do remember back in the day when I think I had 1 or 2 Nova comics. Remember the Diamond Head? I remember that Diamond Head villain in particular. So I may have had 1 or 2 of Nova comics, but this is really my first proper introduction to Nova. I know who Nova is. I would have seen Nova in like other comics or mentioned in other places, but yeah, so I picked up this. So here we have in the marvelous tradition of Spider-Man, The Man Called Nova, featuring the Human Rocket, Power Pack Origin, fabulous first issue, and Marvel's newest bombshell. So yeah, this was 1976, issue 1, and the writer and I think the creator was Marv Wolfman, yeah, and John Buscema and Joe Snyott are the artists. So like big John Buscema, like Nova's in good hands, and Joe Rawson is the letterer and Michelle Wolfman is the colorist. So during the mid-70s, Marvel was really good at taking chances on characters. Like, so you've got Nova #1, and I think around this time Miss Marvel was #1, would have been released, and John Byrne would have been doing the Champions and starting his run on Iron Fist. So there was a lot of kind of artists exploding out, and like they were taking chances, and they were kind of bringing us new heroes. And yeah, so the mid-70s were a very imaginative time for Marvel. So here we have it, BHB Music, and you said that this Nova is like a childhood memories for you, so I'm kind of gathering that you're like of a certain age, but I'll just leave it like that. But hey, here it is, Nova issue 1. And this concentrates on, it starts off this comic with, here, you've got this Nova has been in battle and has been like severely damaged and is near death. But this Nova is pursuing a villain called Zor. So that's just the introduction there, and then it cuts off to this, I think it's a high school with a high schooler called Richie Ryder, and he's playing a basketball game, but unfortunately he loses it, and he kind of has taken on the kind of persona of somebody who feels he's not good at anything and kind of lets the team down. So while that's going on, Nova is hurtling through space in pursuit of Thor. His body is crushed, he can barely move, but he's adamant that he's going to bring justice to this Zor character who murdered all his family and also did a lot of damage to lots of other planets. So he knows that he won't be able to finish the battle, so he imparts the power of Nova to a willing or a worthy candidate. So here you've got the power being transferred, and hey, who is the power transferred to but Richie Ryder, who takes given the power of Nova. So there you have, he receives the power but goes into a kind of a catatonic state and is rushed to hospital. And then Nova then is kind of letting him know telepathically, or letting him know that he has been given the power of Nova Prime and to use it wisely to protect his planet. So yeah, the artwork's beautiful. Hey, Marv Wolfman's a great writer, so kudos to Marv Wolfman. And yeah, so then Richie Rider wakes up from his catonic state, and look, he is kind of realizing that he has these powers. Beautiful advertisement there. Look at those t-shirts. Look at the Stan Lee t-shirt. Isn't that brilliant? Fantastic Four, Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, and Thor. Wow. Collect them all. And yeah, so here you have it. He goes home and then realizes that he is the new Nova, or at least he Nova Prime. So there he is. He is imbued with the power of Nova, and he can take to the sky. And he makes character reference to kind of realizing that, you know, he'd always admired characters like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the Vision, and also Thor, but never realized that he one day would be flying through the air like them. So yeah, look at that beautiful artwork there, telling you to subscribe. There's an introduction by Marv Wolfman talking about the creation and concept of Nova. So that's interesting. And here's the additional supporting characters for the Nova comic. So yeah, so Marvel had probably big ideas and kind of big plans for this actual run, which I think ran for 25 issues, I think. I'd need to check that again. There's Zor there, look. So he comes down to Earth and does battle with the new Nova. So yeah, Zor's like one of these characters that, you know, he gets a good beating anyway by Nova Prime. And yeah. Oh yeah, here's another. Look at the heads. Look at the floating heads there. Aren't they beautiful? Advertisement for Captain America Bicentennial Battles. Wow. And yeah, let's have a look. So Zor the Conqueror, I think that's him, but he vanishes. And then in the epilogue we find out that he goes back, Zor goes, and the Nova that had, first Nova has died, and then we know that Zor has also died. So yeah, does that make sense? Maybe, maybe not. If it doesn't, pick it up. Great run, BHB Music, great recommendation, and I think it's probably a run that I would like to collect, so I probably will put this down as one of those runs from the mid-70s. I love Marvel in the mid-70s, 70s, and those 80s. That's my favorite Marvel comics, and this is absolutely a great run. And I just also went and looked up in my trusty official handbook of the Marvel Universe, and yeah, so it has the champions of Xander, of Nova Prime, and there's Richie Rider there of Nova. So there's the different characters, and there's that Diamond Head character that I was speaking about. So yeah, and he's a traitor, by the way. So, and there's the 4 champions there. And that just gives you a little synopsis. And then I went into the deluxe edition of the Marvel Universe, and I think maybe he's deceased, but I'm not exactly too sure. But I do know that this run, I think when I was reading up the reviews of Nova, it really finished at a kind of they cancelled it at kind of a really good time, because Nova was starting to kind of really hit his stride, and he was also guest starring on the Fantastic Four. It was leading up to the Sphinx. Remember the Sphinx and the Fantastic Four? I forget that issue, but it was like gearing up to like Galactus and everything. So he was really starting to gather steam in the storyline, and like was beginning to kind of take flight, but they cancelled it. So but anyway, look, a nice run to have. I really enjoyed this BHB Music. I can understand the nostalgia and the happy memories that you have in the mid-70s reading these comics, because they were superb. And yeah, thanks for recommending it to me. And I hope you enjoyed this video with me yapping on. So thanks for watching and supporting. and have a great day. Bye.